Why hello there my fellow PC gamers. For those who are inquiring of this, why is Atriox so strong and why did he beat Master Chief for all the people that he was going to be paired up with? This is an analysis video. We are here to discuss why did Master Chief fail compared to the other Spartans that fought him that was easily crushed. Yeah, I'm talking about that Halo Wars 2. We're talking about the most badass boss that's ever graced our video gaming careers compared to Arbiter in Legend. But still, I digress. We're here to talk about why Master Chief lost. And the reason is experience. It is said that during the Covenant War, Atriox was always sent alongside 39 brothers, basically 40 brutes, to charge in headfirst to break the enemy formations. And you know how that fared out. He always survived his engagements with humanity and the UNSC. But his hatred for humanity is still there. But the one prevalent hatred that came out the best is the Covenant, for using them and throwing them away like they're garbage. But in truth, they're not. The brutes are equally or superiorly strong than even the Spartans. But their large build makes it hard for them to be so maneuverable. But Atriox, during his time, most of the brutes are new. Basically, they always die. So their experience is somewhat lacking due to the fact that their life expectancies are so low. Atriox was one of the first brutes and most likely the most experienced of them all, since he has survived countless battles from countless wars. Throughout his time in the Covenant, he fought numerous UNSC personnel compared to what Master Chief has dealt with over the years. If you're gonna mark them up by experience, Master Chief is a little bit lacking for 4 years of experience. Besides, he has fought Forerunners and the Flood, which is not as comparable as the Brutes. The Flood may be dangerous because it infects the people, but the Mjolnir armor itself protects the Chief, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Forerunner, because of their advanced technology, makes it difficult for Chief to fight them tech on tech. It's basically, his kinetic weapons are not to par compared to the hard light weapons, the Forerunners. The Brutes never had that problem. They just use their brute strength. Get it? Okay, I suck at puns. But still, Atriox himself was armed with a unique gravity hammer, or what you may call it, a gravity mace, because it's bladed and it doesn't look like a hammer. But still, if we're gonna talk about how strong he is stronger than the average brute because he has honed and practiced himself throughout the 28 plus years he has fought against the humans and the Covenant at the same time or separately. Depends on what the lore says. But I am about to show you the battle between Red Team and Atriox. If you're gonna be wondering, I'll be go by it later in review and play by play for you to understand why did it happen, why did they lose, why was Atriox so strong. Let me remind you, the Spirit of Fire and the Red Team were asleep for 28 years during the war because they have fought at the early years of the Human Covenant War during the years of 2559. So they basically go to sleep and woke up to a more dangerous threat than the Covenant ever did. But that does not go on par to Chief's experience because he's been awake and been fighting the Covenant and the Flood and the Forerunners for most of the years except for 4. If we're gonna go by numbers. But here, let's watch the video of Red Team versus Atriox. Well, that was painful to watch. I love the Spartans, believe me, I really do. But we cannot deny Atriox's skill and experience throughout his wartime. And to be fair to the Spartans, the Spartan 2s, especially Red Team, are not updated with technology. They've been gone, let me remind you, they've been gone for 28 years. So basically, they did not have the same advancement as the Master Chief did. John 117 is working with the new Mjolnir Mark 6 pattern armor compared to Red Team's Mjolnir Mark 4 pattern armor did not have the shields. Have you noticed that every time they took a hit, there was no shield indicator that basically did not show them every time they get hit, you did not see a shield outline. Basically, they're fighting raw, as in they're just fighting with guns and armor, compared to Master Chief has finally evolved and developed the technology and weaponry and upgrades. Especially, he's been seen with the grapple shot, the thrusters, the additional shield, overshield if you may call it, and the stealth upgrades. It just goes to show that it has the advantage of having these new armor abilities. Compared to Red Team, they had none and they were relying on skill, experience, and intelligence along with their brute force to fight Atriox. And there were three of them, but still, they're still overmatched by Atriox's war experience with the UNSC. That's being kind, and that's being realistic about it. But let us watch how Master Chief fared against Atriox.
Would you humor me? If you knew how you were going to die. How would you live your life differently?
My name is Atriox, and I am the last face you will ever see.
As we can see, Master Chief held his ground, albeit be small amount of time against Atriox, but Atriox's overwhelming strength and experience still trumps Chief's. For some reason, if I was gonna be kind to Chief also, Chief was distracted. He has undergone the loss of so many friends during the war, but now his closest friend, compared to Sergeant Johnson, Rip the Legend, has been taken away. He could not save her, he could not change her mind about of the path she has taken, and Master Chief was somewhat clouded in his actions. He was so focused on the chip, the container of the AI, instead of focusing on fighting Atriox. If I'm gonna put it so kindly. But bluntly, Master Chief was overwhelmed. Even with the surpassing technology he had of the Mark 6 armor compared to the Red Team's Mark 4, even he fell short against Atriox. But compared to Red Team, which was 3 versus 1, Master Chief was able to land in so many attacks and hits compared to what they'd done. And Master Chief's experience fighting brutes, elites, Flood, Forerunner, anything else really came in handy, but still. If the main enemy has been defeated so early in the game, that sucks. When are we gonna be fighting Atriox so we can prove that Master Chief has finally learned and gotten so strong to fight him? I'm digress. How do you guys? Do you have any theories or ideas? Why did Master Chief lose or lost against Atriox? Please leave a comment and subscribe if you really want to. It's really up to you. Like the video, it really helps the channel so much. Help it grow. If you like this kind of content, just leave a comment down below and tell me to make more, or give me some ideas on what kind of videos do you want me to make. So this is PC Normie. Thank you guys for watching this analysis, and I'll see you again very soon on the next video.